Hey, good morning. It is 11/5/2024. It's election day here in the US. And I just want to say thanks for tuning in, guys. As you can tell by the title of the video, we're going to be covering some of the hardest stages in Curse City today. I'm not going to go through each of them. This is actually, I just want to do this video because this is my first clear 100% on hard in Curse City. And the reason I don't have the extra 5 points for the chest is because I collected Carnage I needed 5 points earlier in the rotation. So apparently that's just how this is, which is fine. I'll get it, in 22 hours it says it's going to reset. Yeah, 22 hours, Curse City will reset. And this morning, after talking with clan mates, cluster mates, we came to the conclusion that I could actually finish this. I had one, two, three, I had 4 stages left as of yesterday. The one that I had the most problems with, actually, believe it or not, was this one. And I had this rare right here. By the way, this rare is exactly what you need to beat this stage because of this cock-sucking fucking spider right here. So we'll go over gear sets and strategy for each of the stages. We're going to talk about S19, we're going to talk about S13, S12, and then we're going to talk about S11, okay? Let's start with S11. I'm going to tell you right now, if you do not have this rare right here, right, Spirit Host, go and get Spirit Host, okay? I threw her in whatever gear. I just made sure she was faster than 250 because that's, I think, what the boss's speeds are. I don't care about resistance or anything. I just put her in this because she's one of the few champions that has a cleanse, all right? You need the cleanse for this team unless you want to put everybody in stone skin and immunity and all that dumb shit. Okay. This was just what I saw to be the cheaper and better option. I'm gonna lock her too so I never get rid of her. Um but Spirit Host really is the MVP of this stage if you are struggling with S11. Her Dark Gift, which is a 5-turn cooldown, so it is long as shit, is a cleanse with a 1-turn block debuffs, okay? This increased attack for all allies for 2 turns really does nothing, and neither does this Reap. Honestly, I don't have any masteries on her. Again, I just threw her in this and just made sure she was above 250 speed. You want Spirit Host, okay? I went with Necmo Thar. I didn't change any gear on Necmo. He's in my Hex gear for Hydra. I went with Tatura Rhymehide because Tatura will keep the team alive through defensive mitigation, and he also, at the beginning of the fight, when the spiderlings attack you, with his passive, he can freeze those little bastards. Okay, and it makes it a little bit easier. Not much, but a little. With the way I have this set up, you shouldn't have to really worry about the spiderlings, to be fair. But he has Otherworldly Breach, which gives you Perfect Veil, which reduces damage, right? If we go and look at Perfect Veil here, it tells you how much damage reduction you get. Perfect Veil reduces incoming damage by 15%. That's quite a lot, all right? That's why Duchess is so good, because she already decreases damage by so much, and then Perfect Veil also, right? He also brings in increased defense and block debuffs. I have it on a 3-turn cooldown. Tutura was a Christmas fusion, and I booked him out and I gave him masteries because I was going to use him in Hydra back in the day because he's actually very good in Hydra because he brings Perfect Veil, because he brings Shield, because he brings block debuffs, increased defense, and believe it or not, this is actually really good too. He brings decreased accuracy on his A1, and you are able to smack the spider with that and then really give yourself a fighting chance, okay? Um, the other champion I used is Ghostborn, and it's because you desperately need to be able to take down the boss and the spiderlings and all that jazz with a nuker, like right away. It's really you need a mixture of mitigation and healing, and you need a nuke, okay? And Ghostborn didn't change any gear on him. He's still in my dungeon clearing gear where I have him just in shield and perception and another blood shield ring, okay? Masteries are as such, bringing him down here to War Master, right? Well, if we can find it. Boom. They don't even say the names anymore. Okay, War Master. There you go. And then skills. I have him on Phantom Touch because I was using him. I felt that was the best, but I was using him in Fire Knight back in the day. But obviously, that's not how you do it anymore. But there you go. And then if I look here, So we've covered 1, 2, 3, 4, and then the last one's Queen Eva. She is actually an MVP in this stage because she brings a block revive on the Ice Golem minions, and she actually takes down the spider pretty fast. Okay, you really. So what you do is Ghostborn, obviously faster than Queen Eva. He's gonna open up with Ancestral Spirits, and then you're just gonna come in with Queen Eva and do Energy Drain, kill all the spiderlings, kill the minions for the Ice Golem, and then you heal and work your way through the entire thing. Okay, it's really just a chess match to see how many debuffs do you have, and like, can you get back to Spirit Host fast enough for her cleanse to not get the entire team killed. Okay, I've seen people use Vogoth. I tried using Vogoth. He didn't work out for me, but I also didn't change any gear on him because he's still in my Bommel gear that I don't use him for anymore. And I tried using Kargon, and I love Kargon, but again, this guy suffers from what a lot of epic champions suffer from, and it's like situational buffs and debuffs. His is situational buffs, 4-turn cooldown, and then the 3-turn cooldown on the shield with the heal. It's just not great. I didn't have any masteries on him either, and that could have helped. But with Quargon, if you do have him, I do recommend putting emergency heal on him because he does work with shields, right? He puts up this little shield here, a lot of good sustain. And I also saw people using Luria, and she is actually an amazing option because she does bring block revive on her AoE freeze, and like she does smack, by the way. Look at her multipliers on this, on Hell Hades or Ayumi Love. This shit hits hard. But I had her in throw together gear. I didn't want to change gear and waste any more silver. I figured I could do it without. Another champion that people really love using in this stage, and he is very good, is Vergumkar. But I found that I could not really use Vergumkar reliably because I needed to put books into him, and I didn't want to put books into Vergumkar. He really, like, he is such a meme. You know, he's the sausage lizard, you know? And I do love the sausage lizard. He's a very unique design, to be fair. But with that all in mind, I was trying to reduce using. Jeez, I was like, what is that? It's my freaking water bottle's leaking air for some reason. I did just, you know, when you're doing Curse City, you're trying to do the most to accomplish with the least amount of moves. And I didn't want to finish his masteries. I didn't want to book him. To me, if I can't finish Curse City with champions that I don't need to book, like legendaries and epics, I'll book all day because when you get to the end game, you just end up soaking up a bunch of epic tomes, which is fine. But I just didn't want to invest in a legendary that I was only going to use on one rotation of Curse City, if that makes sense. So, and I also saw people using Visionary, and I think it's because she actually smacks pretty hard. And she does turn meter manipulation too. But there you go. Okay. That is how I dealt with this. I blitzed the spider first, and then I killed Block Revived with Queen Ava, the minions for Ice Golem, and then I just killed Ice Golem. And it was fine after that. Especially with Tatura putting decreased accuracy on Spider and Ice Golem bosses, your survivability goes through the roof. It's very good. Let's go to S12 here. S12, I see a lot of people struggle with this. I hate to tell you, you need specific legendaries for this, and let's just kind of start this up here. Let's just see what we got. On wave 1 here, you need to CC everybody. So really, Molly Tankard is the one to go with. Unless you have multiple nukes from different champions, you really have to do like BCC. Molly, if you can put her in a Frost set or something, or in a Frost Bite set, and then give her the old Provoke, there you go. Wave 1, blitz down Raglan, and then you're going to want to take care of Cythalia, and then just work your way through these guys. These guys, believe it or not, with the damage on the team that I have, they just die as the fight goes on. Let's get out of this, because when you wave 2, you'll figure out what you need to do on wave 2. It's pretty easy. But when you get to wave 3, though, a little piece of advice: people don't respect Jing Wong until you have to face him in like Doom Tower or in Curse City. Jing Wong is an absolute piece of shit, and he will make your day awful. He has a 4-turn cooldown on this Unchains passive, which if any CC debuff is placed on anybody on himself, he will cleanse it. And then also his active effect, which has no cooldown, by the way, he will just cleanse Fear, True Fear, Freeze, Provoke, Sleep, Stun, and Petrification, and put block debuffs on his allies for a turn. And this makes your life hell. So since Molly Tankard is your fastest champion, absolutely do not open with the Provoke. It's a bait, and you're going to have to start all over again because he will screw you over. Okay? But what really helped on this as well is Ghostborn putting decreased defense on the Harima. And then the ninjas do have a freeze, but if you build like your Melga Steel Girdle tanky enough, and see, I just have throw together gear on her. I got nothing on her. She's just over 250 speed. Like a big key to winning these stages is making sure everybody's like your supports are above 250 and making sure you can keep your damage dealers alive. Like I saw earlier, a lot of people using Fang Cleric because he has a revive on his A3, and then but also Melga has a revive on her A3, and so does Kinagashi actually has a revive on her A3, and then she has like a pseudo ally attack, so it's kind of cool. I also saw some people using Marauder, but just be careful again because of Provoke on wave 3. But I was able to do this with this damage dealer of Samar Gem Cursed, unbooked, no masteries. I had him in my HP Newt gear I put on Narcissus, okay? And he, I think if I book him, he just makes this so much easier. But again, Samar is not used anywhere else. So it's like, you don't want to invest in a champion you're not going to use anywhere else. Just to make this one stage go faster. Not going to happen. I will say this about Gamaran. Again, I love Gamaran. I love the design of him. And I was so hoping he was going to have a spot in the world in Raid. And really, it's right here on this stage. Gamaran is sneakily good on this stage, okay? Same thing on wave 3. Do not use Gamaran's A3 on a live champion to place True Fear because it will get cleansed by Jing Wong. And then you're screwed, okay? But there's not too many heals going out unless you're using Melga. But Gamaran actually brings a heal. If you use his A3 and target a live champion, he heals pretty decent amount. Excuse me, I have a little bit of acid reflux today. And he has a pseudo revive with his passive. For any time an enemy is killed, it has a 1-turn cooldown, he will revive somebody. But it will not activate if there's poison, HP burn, any of the, like the status ailment effects. If any of those kill somebody, it's not going to proc. And then like his block active skills, Maron, this thing comes in handy. I CC Jing Wong with just Gamaran because block active skills, Jing Wong couldn't do his big nasty fuck you abilities because he has this A3 that puts decreased accuracy and crit damage and then buffs his team. And then he comes in with block active skills and block debuffs. And it's like, God, why can't you be good all the time, you piece of shit? And then even it worked against the ninjas and the lady Kimmy once I was starting to whittle everybody down. It's just a battle of attrition. My recommendation for this stage, and it is really for every stage, at least one champion and bolster set or shield. Preferably an HP-based champion because you get a bigger shield and more provocative for the heals, right? And then you're going to need, really, people think, well, I just need sustain. If I can just sustain and get through, I'll be fine. You need damage dealers in these stages. That's what I had to learn the hard way after talking to a couple of my comrades. And that is going to be it for S12. S13, this stage right here, as you can see, I have a almost fully max. I need one more star on my Husky boy here. But I was able to do this stage because I did swap gear onto these two champions here. Krampus here, Achak the Wanderer, or Wanderin. I moved bolster gear over to this guy, and he was amazing, okay? I put him in bolster gear, I made him really fast, and then I gave him enough accuracy so he could land his freeze and HP burn, and then we just cycled back around to Cannibal Might because Strengthen is very good on this. And as you can see, I have him in emergency heal, and that's because I have him in bolster. Now, if you want to be really cheeky, go ahead and throw a shield accessory on this guy, right? And you'll be all the better for it, okay? Achak is key to winning this stage. I have mine fully mastered and fully booked because back in the day you used him for Spider because he was really good for Spider 25, and that's just what it was. Right here, Mausoleum Mage. I didn't change anything on this guy. The only thing I would change though, I'd probably get him above 250 speed. We do not have any. Yeah, I'm at 248. I haven't invested in the area bonuses. I'm finishing Hydra first, and then Curse City will be my next thing for area bonuses. Actually, might be Fire Knight. I don't know. I'm gonna do a video about how all the legacy dungeons are just silver farms now. Um, but yeah, the only thing I recommend is make Mausoleum Mage fast, make him tanky, and give him high resistance so they don't land debuffs on him. And then I have him going all the way down to War Master because that's just what I had on him from back in the day. And I wish the one thing they would change about this beautiful, beautiful epic is they would change block debuffs from 1 turn to 2 turns, and he would be superior. I remember when he came out, because Golgorab came out first, and then Mausoleum Mage they released a little later, because if you notice something, he's just a reskin of Golgorab. People really loved him because he was just amazing. And a little fun fact for you, the Might of Undeath, when going through the Doom Tower when it first came out, they had to reword how the buffs came up on Mausoleum Mage, and they had to redo this here, the symbols for what buffs were coming up, because people were pissed because it says his block debuffs go up first, but how it was programmed is block debuffs go up last. So when you go up against the Torment stages, you'd get fucked because your team would freeze and block debuffs would never go up and you just lose. Because I was using Mausoleum Mage for a long time, right? So fun little fact there. This video is going to be long, so I do apologize. I'm just explaining everything. I did find out that Hofaris the Tusk is one of, if not the only reviver in this stage, and I do recommend using him. I love this hippo person, and my recommendation, take your Arbiter gear. Let's just find it here quick. Arbiter. And put him in your fastest Arbiter gear, okay? I put him at 356 speed, and then I had no issues with this beautiful hippo. No masteries, fully booked though. And again, put him in emergency heal. And I have him in a shield accessory here, and that kept him alive. So you're gonna want to do that, okay? Actually, let's just go ahead and throw his old gear back on him just so I have some room in storage. But yeah, so really all I did was put Hofaris the Tusk in my Arbiter gear, and then I put Achak and Bolster, and that's how I got through it. The husks are in Hydra gear that I never took off them, okay? They're in Relentless, and they have, and here's the thing with the husks, you want them to have enough accuracy so they can land stun, but also MVP on this is Provoke. This 2-hitter that has a decent chance, 20, 30, 40% chance to place Provoke on each hit is amazing, okay? Never use this Retaliate ability. It's not really going to do you any good. But Husk really came through because he CC'd everything. On the first wave, we'll just jump into it here. On the first wave, you need to make sure that you really CC Smash Lord here, okay? Excuse me. Make sure this guy never gets a cleanse off. And then you're going to have to kill him. And then Tumezia, because she'll play stun, HP burn, and decrease speed. And then kill the rabbit. And I know it's scary, right? Because you're looking. We're bad affinity matchup against the Regashes. But if you can look at my Husks, they have cruelty. And they have 5-star cruelty. That helped out a lot, okay? Because it makes it so the Regashes don't do as much damage because they're getting their defenses decreased. And that is up to, let's just take a look here. I do not know what percent that is. Get out of here. Up to 30%, okay? And they will be taking a lot of turns. It's 2 per hit, so it's like 15 hits, but between the 2 of them, it stacks up pretty fast, okay? And then on the mid wave, I think it's Ogre and Tribes on the mid wave, and it's Ogre and Tribes. Focus the Void Legendary. What is his name? He's got another buff, and he's amazing. $20 for that. Sorry, mate. Can't spend any more money. I do wish I had this guy. Gurgo. Focus Gurgo on... Oops, no, not that. Focus Gurgo on wave 2, and then completely ignore the Drop Gall on wave 2. And then you're going to want to keep Ignatius's both CC'd with Husk. And also, the top priority is keep... so Gurgo, Biggin, the Ignatius's, and then leave Drop Gall for last. You're going to get to this last wave here with Mashald, Urast, Suzerain, and the 2 Bad Alcazars. What do you think you should do? You're going to need to CC the Bad Elves the most, okay? And it's a bonus if you can get Urast CC'd because he actually hits very hard on this stage. And you have to CC the Mashald. But priority, I'm going to tell you right now, is going to be these 2 have to be CC'd because if they break CC, they're going to cleanse. And then Mashald will do his thing. Suzerain Catan hits very hard. AoE A1 with decreased speed. He has decreased defense and weaken on A2, and he has heal reduction and a cleanse, right? This is, or not cleanse, but a strip. It's pretty nasty. People really don't care for Suzerain Catan, but I see him do a lot of work in a lot of stages and a lot of Hydra stuff. But Battles first, and then Mashald, and then work your way through these 2 guys. With what I've given you for information today, you'll have no problem getting through it. I think it took me, let me look at my screenshot here, because I posted it in Sintranos. Took me 7 minutes to get through all of it. And it was stuns from Husk, and I know it's a bad affinity matchup, and if you're, my recommendation is if people are really, upset about or worried about bad affinity matchups, then put Affinity Breaker on your champions like I do with my Ugos. If we just go here, my number 1, Affinity Breaker, 50% chance to change the weak hits to criticals. Pretty good. Pretty good. Let's grab that. Sorry, I'm just gonna do this really quick so I don't waste too much time. If you guys have seen, I've gone back to my old Batman team because I'm going to be taking Fushan and putting him in a real damage set for Curse City because it is desperately needed. So we did S13, S14 we'll talk about too. Vassal is MVP. I'm going to tell you right now, there's really no way I foresaw this getting around without booking Vassal and then getting him full masteries. I love this champion in this stage. It's kind of crazy that all the Doom Tower champions that were shit are now good. Kind of cool. But it's his fear and decreased attack that you really want the most. And he is like a pseudo healer because of his HP balance here. I saw a lot of people blitzing through this. If you have a booked and fully monstrous Blood Gorge, he'll get you through. And so will a Fushan. Fushan's great because he's one of the few champions that has a very good speed in all battles or by 24%. He used to be the OG best speed lead. It's kind of gotten away from that. So there you go. Yeah, this is the team. I didn't change any gear again on my Husks, and I didn't change any gear on my Kandrafon. He's just in non-ascended stone skin gear. He's old school built for back in the day arena. I just never updated him because he fell off because of Harima. There you go. If you're looking at Fire Knight, I'm not going to be able to really give you a good advice on Fire Knight other than you need a Lanicus, and Cold Hearts are going to be your friends, and so is Mithrala here. Whenever you're going up against Fire Knight and you have a champion that places increased defense like Mithrala, my recommendation to you is put this blessing on them, Faultless Defense, because it reflects damage and that counts as hits towards the Fire Knight. Let's see, I don't remember how many he starts out with in this stage. Not crazy amount. Oh, it is a crazy amount. 18. All right. But yeah, your opener would be this, right? And then A1. And then you're just going to work through this A1 here. And then I wouldn't even bother with the all the other stuff. Boom. And I got lucky with Kertraxa, but Kertraxa can be swapped out for another Cold Heart. And so when that happens, boom, he's already back down to 9. We're going to A1 again. Mithrala is going to have a turn. Preferably you want her the fastest, honestly. And you want to cleanse. You're going to A1. Right now, I would see if we get an extra turn. We didn't. But there goes that again. And then really, this is you fighting through it. Make sure you get the decreased speed landed on there. But yeah, that's how I did it. And then Cold Heart, she has a heal reduction on her A1, which works out a lot. So, and then yeah, I didn't have any stuff equipped to Lanicus. But that's how I did it. And a lot of people I see like Urticata, you can use Skimfos. Right, you're going to be able to use Carnage once you get him, which I was able to get Carnage, and he will be in the rotation for this. And then we're going to go to S19. A lot of people hate this stage, and we're going to talk about it here quick. There is a key on how to beat S19, okay? The key is you need, and this is shout out to Apple Zeus. I love you, brother. Thank you for helping me out on and Rodney and all the other guys. The key to this is you need to blitz down and kill the Marichka on wave 1. If you cannot do that, you will not get past any part of this. So what I did is I luckily got a Snick Track 6-star soul a couple weeks ago. I had him in Brimstone, and then I was like, well, I'm never going to use him for anything. As you can see, he's not booked. And then, but I do have him masteried because I was using him in other parts of Sintranos for other rotations. And my buddy Apple Zeus is like, throw Crushing Rend on him, and then use Virgum Car and get that decreased defense going, and then use him to blitz the team down. I went, he's probably right, and he is. He was 100% right. Virgum Car is in this gear, as you can see. Just make sure he has enough accuracy to land his debuffs. And then I used my Nekmothar. I should change him to number 1 here, actually. This guy should be number 2. I have Nekmothar and Curse set again. 265, almost 100% crit rate because I use him in Hydra. He's got more than enough accuracy to land his debuffs. And then I used Grand Oak Podridge, and this is again for Hydra because I have him in Reflex and Merciless because he has a 30% chance to get a cooldown reduction, right? And then with this, he has a 40% chance just regular with cooldown reduction. But for Merciless, you have to deal damage, okay? And then I used a rare Gnarlhorn. I have 2 Gnarlhorns. I keep screwing up because I think this guy's the one I want, but he's not. It is actually this Gnarlhorn that I used. Again, you want him above 250 speed, or at 250. With the bonus, we're at 254. Okay, but he needs enough accuracy and enough speed to land his provoke. This is key to beating this stage as well. And I have him an emergency heal. Probably should put like a shield accessory on him for that, but you know, whatever. Mom, you know, Bob's your uncle. But yeah, you need to use Snick Track, and we'll just pop this off here. Snick Track will come in, and you need to blitz on this Marichka. So you essentially need to CC everybody, okay, and then kill the Marichka. Now, what a fun thing that happens is, since you have the reflect damage and everything off Snick Track, it will help kill everybody on the team. And Virgum Car comes in with decreased defense, and he comes in with like heal reduction. So as long as you keep the team CC'd with like Gnarlhorn and Nekmothar with turn meter manipulation, because he's increasing everybody's turn meter, and then he's putting decreased speed and leech on the enemy team, you will get through this no problem. You'll be fine. You might have the occasional 3% resist chance off the terrasses, and that's actually why I put, you know, a little smart play to you. That's why you put Gnarlhorn in. No, he's Spirit. Oh no, he's defense, isn't he? Nope, HP. There he is. That's why you put him in a Frost set, and if you can like do it, put him in a Frostbite set because it will increase the freeze chance to 30%. But it's not additive; it's multiplicative. By the way, when that happens, and you have 2 different ones. It does the first one and then checks, and then if that doesn't work, then it does the second set and then checks. So there you go. That is going to be it for today. And also on that stage for S19, when you get to the final wave, do not provoke this guy. Absolutely do not provoke the team. Just make sure you're 250 speed or above. Make sure you have turn meter manipulation, and then just blitz them down. And again, Virgum Car is amazing for this stage because he puts decreased defense on these 2 guys. Okay. So that's going to be it. I hope I helped you guys out. I'm sorry I'm not going through the stages again. It was my mistake not filming them the last 2 days, and I should have just filmed them. But yeah, there you go. We'll definitely be doing this for the next rotation that resets tomorrow. I'm going to see if I can't 100% the next one. So thank you everybody for tuning in. We'll catch you in the next one. Bye-bye.